Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To all participants, thank you so much for joining us in this International Short Course 2024 with the theme International Short Course Global Challenge and the Digital World. Before we start, let's ask thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessings, we are able to join in this International Short Course 2024. Secondly, salawat and salam also delivered to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us from the darkness into the brightness. The Honorable Professor Supriyono, as Vice Rector for Cooperation and International Affairs of Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta, the Honorable Professor Dr. Kelly Guardiono, as the Dean of Faculty of Law, Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta, the Honorable, our wonderful speakers today, Professor Dr. Vandana Singh from University School of Law and Legal Studies, New Delhi, and Associate Professor Chetan S. Mukundan from Exonet Institute, Bangalore, India, and also my beloved participants. Here, I'm Gizha Syarifa as the Master of Ceremony and Moderator today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, brother and sister, before we start, I would like to read the list of our agenda today. The first agenda is opening. The second agenda is reciting of Holy Al-Quran. The third agenda is singing Indonesia Raya and Sang Surya. The fourth agenda is opening speech by Professor Supriyono as Vice Rector for Cooperation and International Affairs of Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta. And the fifth agenda is 4 sessions, and we will have 2 speakers today. So, ladies and gentlemen, brother and sister, let's open this International Short Course 2024 with the theme International Crime Global Challenge and the Digital World by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, let's jump in our second agenda. There is a reciting of Holy Al-Quran. It will be read by Mr. Farhan. So now for Mr. Farhan, the time and screen is yours.
Thank you. Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahilladzi أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبصر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه عبدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث عسفا إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا جرزا أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا صدق الله العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you very much for Mr. Farhan. May we all get syafaat in this life and hereafter. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is sing a song of Indonesia Raya and Sang Surya. Ladies and gentlemen, please mute your microphone and sing together. Thank you very much for all of the participants. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth agenda is opening speech from Professor Supriyono as Vice Rector for Cooperation and International Affairs of Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta. Now, for Professor Supriyono, the time and screen is yours.
Thank you, Moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, Prof.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain amma ba'd. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Distinguished guests, speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning and welcome to this highly anticipated short course on international crimes, global challenges, and the digital world. It is my honor to stand before you today as we embark on a journey to explore one of the most critical and complex issues facing our world today. Ladies and gentlemen, in the age where the digital revolution has transformed every aspect of our lives, it has also brought new dimension to the challenges of international crimes. The boundaries of the criminal activities have expanded beyond physical borders, and cyberspace has become new battleground for criminal enterprises. From cyber attacks and digital fraud to human trafficking and terrorism, the scope and scale of international crimes have evolved, demanding a multifaceted and collaborative responses. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this short course aim to develop into these pressing issues by bringing together experts from various fields of law. Over the next few days, you will engage in discussion, share knowledge, and develop strategies to address these global challenges. I think your goal is to foster a deeper understanding of the intersection between international crime and the digital world, and to equip ourselves with the tools needed to combat this threat effectively. We are privileged to have with us a distinguished panel of speakers and participants who bring a wealth of experience and expertise. Their insight will be invaluable as we navigate the complexities of international crimes in the digital world. I encourage of you to actively participate, ask questions, and engage with the content of your fellow participants. It is through such interaction that we can truly learn and innovate. As we begin this journey together, let us remember that the fight against international crime requires not only advanced technology and robust legal framework, but also a commitment to cooperation and shared vision for safer and more just world. Each one of you has a crucial role to play in this endeavor, and I am confident that at the end of this course, we will all be better equipped to contribute in these vital missions. In conclusion, I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizers, speakers, and participants for making this event possible. Your dedication and enthusiasm are the driving forces behind the success of this short course. Let us make the most of this opportunity to learn, collaborate, and inspire each other. Thank you, and I wish you all a productive and enlightening experience. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Supriyono, for your wonderful speech. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have reached our main session today, which is core session. Here, I'm Gizha Syarifa as the moderator. Today, we will have two wonderful speakers for the core session. Before starting the core session, I would like to read the participation rules for Zoom session. Number 1, so all of the participants must write their name on Zoom according to the format. Participants must activate their camera during the session and maintain a respectful attitude. Zoom chat is only designed for questions during discussion session, according to a predetermined time. Participants who wish to ask a question or experiencing technical difficulties shall contact the committee via chat. Participants are expected to attend or join the session in time to avoid technical problems. Participants are not allowed to share the link to anyone other than for the participants' own need. Participants are not allowed to represent their attendance and fill in the attendance list on behalf of others. Participants must respect the presenter and every other participant. Participants are required to fill in the attendance list, which will be shared at the end of the session via Zoom chat. This rule will be applied from day 1 until day 5. Now, for the first session, will be delivered by Professor Vandana Singh from Universitas School of Law and Legal Studies, New Delhi, with the topic Cyberspace and Intellectual Property Theft. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know, intellectual property is becoming one of the valuable assets for individuals and business in the digital era. The theft of ideas, creative expression, or invention from individuals or company is still ongoing and even more prevalent in the digital age. Intellectual property theft can refer to the theft of patents, copyright, trademarks, or trade secrets, including names, logos, symbols, invention, license, and more. Intellectual property theft refers to unauthorized access, use, or exploitation of another person or a company's creative works, invention, or proprietary information. Intellectual property theft often involves hacking, data breach, and unauthorized distribution of replication of copyright material. Now, before start the core session, I would like to read Professor Vandana Singh's short profile. Professor Vandana Singh now is a professor at Universitas School of Law and Legal Studies, New Delhi. Professor Vandana Singh have experience as Associate Professor, School of Law and Legal Studies in New Delhi. Professor Vandana Singh have some publication, which is the latest one, is Transformative Constitutionalism in India, the Role of Judiciary, and Navigating the Complexities of IP in Agricultural Milestone and Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, now Professor Vandana haven't joined the Zoom meeting, so we need to wait a second. Ladies and gentlemen, please wait a moment because our speakers today haven't joined the meeting yet. Hello, Professor Vandana Singh. Do you hear my voice?
Yeah, good morning. I can hear you.
Okay,
Good morning.
good morning. Okay, Professor Vandana Singh. The session will be divided into three parts. The first one is giving the materials. The second one is question and answer, which contain the session. And the last one is closing. You will have 1 hour, 40 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready for begin the conversation? Okay, now Professor Vandana Singh, the time and screen is yours.
Just 1 second. Can I share my screen also, I guess?
Of course.
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. It's it's my pleasure to be with this. We can say it's a faculty development program, right? So, faculty development program in different aspect relating to intellectual property. I have seen it's a very good means. You can say the topic you have chosen is very nice. Let me open my PPT, then we can start. Just give me 1 second. So may I know the target group? It's a students or it's a teacher? Little bit about the audience.
Sorry?
I just wanted to know the audience we are having. Faculty or
It's most from students.
students. Okay, fine. Just 1 minute. I'm just sharing my PPT, opening my PPT. It will take a while. 1 minute. So all the students, they are reading IPR and cyber laws. So just 1 second. I hope I am audible to all of you properly. Hope all of you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we can begin now. As this is a computer screen. Just 1 second. Yeah. So, like you can see, basically the topic of today's discussion is cyberspace and intellectual property, threat, and means what are the means we talk about intellectual property, threat, and there are so many things which we generally discuss in cyberspace, right? So, first thing, if means first of all, I would like to congratulate the organizer and all the students for organizing this event and giving me an opportunity to join and to interact with all of you. Fine. So the agenda for today lecture, we can say first thing what we have to understand that what is we need to understand. Simple thing, I assume that all of you are aware that what is the meaning of intellectual.
Benar itu ketika seorang lurah atau pejabat tinggi, seorang pejabat kemudian melakukan tindak pidana korupsi dan dia
So basically, understanding intellectual property means we need to understand the complex landscape, that what are the legal rights available to intellectual property, and the digital world impact on intellectual property, innovation and creative expression amidst technological advancement, and what are the different kinds of threat we are having by talking about intellectual property. So you can see the agenda when we talk about this is the main agenda on which this 1 hour lecture we will talk about. First, we have to explore the complex landscape of intellectual property right in the ever evolving digital world where innovation and creative expression means everything is involved about the concept of intellectual property. And when we talk about the digital world, right? So how the digital world, they are affecting the intellectual property, and what are the things when we have to relate or we have to take care of digital world while talking about intellectual property, right? So first thing means you can say the importance of intellectual property when we have to talk about intellectual property. What are the importance of intellectual property? We all know that intellectual property or intellectual property rights are something in these era or in these forum which is means you can say indispensable, or in other words we can say this is something we cannot live without, right? Once upon a time means we say that the basic feature or this is the right to life, we talk about the environment, we talk about so many other things. But nowadays in globalized world, in liberalized world, where we are just one click away with the different kind of innovation. So intellectual property is a tool for protecting all this innovation and creative work, or you can see the intellectual efforts of anyone. And this is something, intellectual property, which is required for development of any country. Means it is being said by so many authors that when you have to see the development of any particular country, you should also see how that particular country is protecting its intellectual property, right? So economy of a particular country is directly related to intellectual property, and with different kind of you can say the more your intellectual property is protected, the more it is you can say economically suitable for a particular country, right? So first and foremost importance of intellectual property is protecting innovation. We cannot protect innovation in a globalized era until and unless we are protecting intellectual property. That is the first thing. Secondly, all of us, we know that intellectual property is something which foster creativity, right? So like foster creativity, all of you can say that creativity means this is not something new to our society. Creativity, innovation, or so many other things that have been always been part of our society in one way or in other way. But at the same time, in 15th, 16th century, we have realized that until and unless Right. So we realize that until and unless we are protecting creativity, we are not going to get the proper growth even in case of creativity as well, right? So strong IP protection, you can say, they also incentivize the development of new product, services, artistic expression, benefiting consumer as a society whole, right? So, suppose if you imagine 30, 40 years back, we were not having mobile, we were not having even this Zoom technology as well. Just because we are giving protection to a particular technology, we are also in a position to reap benefit of that particular technology. So certainly we can say that for fostering technology, it is important to have strong IP protection. The third means, you can say, when we talk about the importance of intellectual property, certainly we can say that intellectual property also promote healthy competition, right? Because we are in one country or every country, they are having rules or laws against monopolization. So due to intellectual property law, what we are able to do, we create a healthy competition in any society. Because suppose if one company is making an medicine, and if the other company, they are also making any medicine, so as a consumer, all of us can get price, comparative price, right? Means forget about medicine, you think about the mobile phone, right? 100 companies are there, they are providing 100 of the features, they are competing with each other, and all of them are coming with one technology or other technology. And as a consumer, we choose one product over other, keeping in mind that what are our priority and why we are choosing one product over other, right? So this is the, you can say, the role of intellectual property, that we promote healthy competition for any kind of you can say innovation, for any kind of like whatever any new product is coming, any new medicine is coming. Or you can I hope all of you remember the corona time, how we started getting vaccine. One company prepared a vaccine, then other company, they also started working on that particular vaccine, right? So ultimately, due to competition, we as a consumer end user, we get so many different kind of vaccine at different kind of cost, right? So promoting competition, protecting innovation, and fostering creativity, these are the major means, you can say, the role of intellectual property, which is all of us are aware, very important to our society. Now come to the the importance of this innovation, promoting competition. After that, you can say what actually means to the intellectual property theft. Means today lecture, we are basically confining ourselves to the intellectual property theft. And when we need to understand what exactly mean the intellectual property theft, we can say that intellectual property theft is a significant issue, right? That undermine the value and security of creative work. In previous slide, we have seen that what is the importance of intellectual property in our society. And this, whether we are going to have more discussion on that particular aspect or not, but we all are aware that whenever we are talking about intellectual property, this is considered to be one of the most important component in any society, right? So when it is considered to be most important component in any society, protecting that important component is equally important for all of us, no? So what actually constitute intellectual property theft, that we need to understand, right? So means, you can say, whenever we talk about intellectual property theft, it is a significant issue that undermine the value and security of creative work, invention, and in any confidential business information. And not only that, it also encompasses various unauthorized activities that infringe on the right of IP owners, right? So in one now there are certainly various definition of intellectual property theft, but we can say that IP theft is particularly pervasive in the digital realm, right? So, like, suppose why we are more concerned about digital realm, because nowadays most of the intellectual property, they are protected or they are created on digital media. No, like you think about the Mona Lisa painting, or you think about any kind of book written by Austin or Kelson. We all are aware that physically, even if I'm taking that particular book, I'm not in a position to take the copyright of that particular book. But the moment I'm getting it Xerox, I'm selling it, I'm infringing copyright. But the physical infringement of any copyright, if I'm taking or stealing a particular painting, or if I'm misusing that particular painting, they are in a position that you can control. We know that where this particular wrong is being committed, who is doing it. It is comparatively easy for all of us. But in a digital world, where technological advancement make it easier everything, right? Not only that you are sharing my book, like if I am talking about the Dyer's jurisprudence, which as a law student, all of us must have read the Dyer's jurisprudence, right? So a Dyer's jurisprudence, when you think about the jurisprudence book written by a particular author 20-30 years back, when you have to read that particular book, you are going to a particular library, you are getting that Xerox, and you are reading that book physically. But nowadays, we know the digital libraries are there, and all these books are uploaded. Fine, and it is expected that I'm paying a particular kind of royalty, or I'm taking permission from a particular publisher for allowing my student in my university to read that book, right? But due to this digital world, it is very easy to hack that particular university website, to download that particular book without authorization, even if I'm not a student of your university. But I can get a link, or you can on friendly term, you can share the link with me, and what I can do, I'm downloading the book. Till the time I'm doing it for an academic purpose, there is no problem, right? But the moment I have downloaded all the book, I have taken the printout, I'm selling that book, or I have opened my website where I'm saying that everyone, if you have to read that book, you have to pay me certain amount, right? So this constitute infringement of, or you can say, of intellectual property theft on digital media, and these things need to be these things need to be controlled, right? And what are the different kind of intellectual property theft? Means we can say that copying patented technology. In roughly, we can say that these are some of the example of intellectual property theft, like copying patented technology or design without authorization. What we are doing, that patents are intended to protect new invention and innovative design. However, means when any competitors or malicious actor copy these patented technology without authorization, it constitutes theft, right? And in fact, this form of theft can severely impact the original inventor or company's ability to capitalize on their innovation, right? Reducing their competitive edge and potential revenue. This is something we can say, that copying patented technology means one of the best example is reverse engineering of a patented product. Means we all are aware about the semiconductor integrated circuit, and reverse engineering is considered to be of a patented product, either a patented product or any other intellectual property product of similar item incorporating patented technology. All these things constitute intellectual property theft when it comes to the patent technology or design. mind, right? Similarly, when we talk about the illegally downloading the copyrighted software, music or movies, we all know that right law protect creative law work such as software, music, movies, and books, right? So unauthorized downloading or sharing of these work is a common form of IP theft in digital age. We all are aware. This type of theft not only deprive creators of their rightful earning, but also affect the entire industry by discouraging the creation of new content due to financial losses. Means we all are aware that from last so many years we are looking for new good book on jurisprudence, and the publisher, they are means whether you talk about the Oxford or any other publisher, they are not coming forward for new books or anything like that, right? So third, you can say that reproducing trademark goods to create counterfeit product, and especially when we talk about the trademark, we all are aware that generally the trademark, they protect brand names, logo, symbol, and so many things, the services, these things are protected under trademark laws, right? So counterfeit products can harm consumer, damage the reputation of the original brand, and result in significant financial losses for legitimate business, right? So for example, you can say fake designer clothing, or you can say the fake designer handbags, or different kind of electronics that are like in India we are having a buffer market where you can get anything from Armani suit to the Bose. Means you just name the product and you are going to get the pirated thing of that particular product, right? So this constitute, you can say, a major intellectual property theft, which is harmful to any particular owner, and means the intent, or you can say and digital technology, they have made it easier than ever to copy and distribute intellectual property. Why these things are more worrisome for all of us? Because with internet, with digital technology, it's very easy for any infringer to copy and to distribute intellectual property without authorization. And not only that, digital files can be duplicated perfectly and shared globally within a second, right? Making enforcement of IP right increasingly challenging. Fine. So means not only that, we all are aware that cyber criminal exploit the anonymity. What is more worrisome, that most of the cyber criminal, they are in dark web, dark site, and it's they are anonymous, and the reach of the internet to engage in various form of IP theft, including hacking, corporate network, to for the purposes to steal the trade intellectual property, trade secret, and at the same time using digital marketplace to sell all these work, right? These are, means you can say, major problem when we talk about the intellectual property theft and cyber world. What I'm doing as a hacker, I'm stealing all data from your company and I'm selling it to another company, right? So basically it constitute means you can say basically it is the intellectual property theft. My data is being stolen, my trade secret is being stolen, and it is sold to any other company on dark web, or suppose any organization, they are financing the hacker to get the important data stored by any government or any organization. Because with the advancement of technology, we cannot expect that any government or any organization, whether a scientific organization, or for example we are talking about ISRO or any other, NASA for that example, they are also having all the intellectual property stored on digital world, right? So when everything is stored on digital world and someone is taking those data, trade secret, or any other matter like that, and they are selling it to someone who finance or who is giving money. This is a classic example of intellectual property theft. And this is, somehow different from infringement. Infringement is openly I'm doing it, but these kind of example, they constitute intellectual property theft, right? And understanding the various form of IP theft means, you can say, after getting little bit idea that what constitute intellectual property theft, it is also important for all of us to understand that common cyberspace threat to intellectual property. What are the common cyberspace theft? What basically we talk about, understanding the various form of IP theft is equally crucial. Why it is crucial? To address the broader issue of protecting intellectual property, right? You can see that there are different kind of common means, you can say, cyberspace threat to intellectual property. And with these steps, you can say any industry, economy, or any, as well as the government organization, they are at risk. And when we understand that what are these common intellectual cyberspace threat or intellectual property theft, we can have some kind of firewall, or we can have some kind of protection against intellectual property theft, right? So means malware, phishing, means you can see these are you are aware when we talk about the malware, what we say, we send some kind of virus or anything in your system and that hack your system. Or when we talk about the phishing, I'm pretending to be someone else, and what I'm doing, I'm getting your data by means, you can say, by manipulating you, or by any other method, right? And there is APT, that is advanced persistent threat. APT means, you can say, they are prolonged and targeted cyber attack where an intruder gain access to a network and remain undetected for an extended period, right? Means with advanced technology, advanced cyber threats are also there. And generally means, phishing malware, all of you are aware, but this APT, when we talk about the advanced persistent threat, the goal of APT is usually to steal information rather than to cause a immediate damage, right? So this is again very means, you can say, upcoming thing and very worrisome, that APT is there and it is in your system for a long time, and you are not aware that any APT is there. Means, you are opening an image on your mobile, means APT is there, right? And they are able to hack your mobile. APT means, you can say, they are often carried out by well-funded and highly skilled attackers. Means, you can say, they are the nation state actor. They focus on stealing high value IP, such as technological innovation, product design. Not only that, the strategic business plan. This is very important for important nowadays. Everyone, they make their strategic plan for success of their particular company, but this APT, it is targeted and they are there for a long time, and they are not, unlike the malware and phishing, which is for immediate damage. If it is not meant for that particular thing, right? And the next, you can say, the common is insider threat. Insider threat means, you can say, it basically originates from within the organization, and sometimes it is intentional, sometimes it is unintentional. And what is there, sometimes employee, contractor, or business partner who is having access to a sensitive information, they might misuse it for personal gain or accidentally expose it to the outside threat. Fine. So that means insider threat is another kind of a cyberspace threat to intellectual property. And this cyber security landscape, you can say, it is continuously evolving. Means we can say these are the common thing: the APT, the malware, the insider threat. But at the same time, due to AI and due to another upcoming technology, we are maybe not in a position to identify by that what are the upcoming challenges we are going to get, right? Business must means cyber criminals, they are also constantly developing new method to bypass security defenses, making it essential for organization to regularly update their cyber security strategies and technology, right? Because generally it happen in government organization that we are not so updated, and we government organization, they are the major target to these means you can say the cyber criminals, you know. So means this you can say the rise of cyber crime and IP theft, when you can say that in recent past means the rise of cyber crime and IP theft, or in recent year all of us have seen that there has been a significant increase in cyber crime, particularly targeting intellectual property. Fine, whether I'm taking away your collected data, information, trade secret, advancement, fine, so many other things are there. And this trend is driven by the widespread adoption of digital technology. Means you can say in all the areas, or in all the departmental working, everyone is now working on digital space, even the education sector, right? So understanding the factor that why we are having in past 1 decade or 2 decade the rise of cyber crime and IP theft, these are you can say means you know some of the reason, or you can say the factors behind the rise and method used by cyber criminals for intellectual property theft, right? Like one you can say exponential growth of cyber attack, means the frequency and severity of cyber attack have surged. No, it reflecting the growing dependency on digital system across all sectors. Means cyber criminals are increasingly you can say targeting intellectual property due to its high value, the potential financial reward from stealing and selling IP market it is an attractive target. You all are aware that if you are downloading any app, you are getting so many data to that particular app, from your financial card to your unique identity number. And if I'm stealing those data, which is which is protected under copyright, I'm getting information of so many individuals that can be misused by any company or any means you can say anyone who is getting your data, and they are we are even not aware that why my data is being used, right? So this statistics and report from cyber security firm indicate a year over year increase in incident, highlighting the urgent need for robust cyber security measure, right? We are developing, we all are having so many means you can say different technological advancement, but at the same time means you can say we are always at risk that how that particular thing means you know is being misused by any potential intellectual property criminal or the cyber criminals. But at the same time we all are aware that we cannot throw baby along with baby bath, and we have to see different method by which we can protect these intellectual property matter, right? So this is the means you can say exponential growth of cyber attacks. Second, you can say sophisticated hacking technique. When we talk about sophisticated hacking technique, means you know the cyber criminals, they have developed advanced technique, right? Such as means you can say the breach of corporate defense, access sensitive to have the sensitive access to their intellectual property, different technique. As I already told you about the malware, where malicious software designed to infiltrate and damage computer system, right? And when you want to means I just encrypt your system, and when you have to to de-encrypt that, I'll ask for a ransom. And this is something, it was common, I think, in past decade, but still it is common in somewhere. They just target that what are those computer where, by getting your information, they can identify that what kind of work you are doing. And when the cyber criminal, they can get good ransom for stealing your data, right? Another is phishing, data breaches. These things, I have already told you that these sophisticated attacks are, sometimes often well coordinated, right? And it can bypass traditional security measure, making them particular dangerous. Fine. So this sophisticating hacking techniques are there. This is again one of the major reasons why there is rise of cyber crime and IP theft. Third, you can say monetization of stolen IP. Means, once intellectual property is stolen, cyber criminals seek to monetize it.
Oh, yang cuma satu kata.
I'm sorry, someone is asking something. Is there any question?
No, Prof, you can continue your explanation.
Okay. So basically what I was talking about, the monetization of stolen IP, right? Like these data, means you can say they can be all these cyber criminal. Basically, they sell all these intellectual property or data to dark web sell. Means dark web sell nowadays, all of you must have seen different OTT and different, the series where we can relate that how the dark web they are working and how powerful they are nowadays. Like it's not only the criminals, but even the government agency, they also sometimes rely on dark web for a particular kind of information. Fine. So dark web sales, you can say they basically why they are risk and why they are means a cause of concern, because all these IP, the cyber criminal, they sell these IP to the dark web, right? And the dark web, basically what they do, means like if they are getting any state secret proprietary software and design blueprint, all the dark they, there is generally what I have heard that there is a bidding, right? And these information, all these information that will be sold to the highest bidder, the H1 bidder, right? So this is something which is also a reason that why we are having increasing IP theft on cyber crime, because we are having means you can say purchaser for all those stolen information or stolen intellectual property, right? Then other, you can say counterfeit product, generally using stolen IP to manufacture and sell counterfeit product, which not only result in financial loss but also damages the reputation of the original brand. Suppose if I am in a position to get any technological detail of a new product, what I'm doing, I'm myself, I bought that information on dark web, then I'm manufacturing the counterfeit product, and ultimately what I'm doing, I'm affecting the sale or the business of the genuine owner, right? So but this is the reason why there is a rise in IP theft on cyber world, because the monetization which include the dark web sell and counterfeit product, it is considered to be a very important concept, right? Then insider threat and data leak, we know that sometime, disgruntled employee who feel wronged or are seek revenge, they steal or leak the data. nowadays, the kind of a world we are having, it is also considered to be very common. Means the work ethics, what we used to have 50 years back, that is no longer continuing in any part of the world. So if I'm unhappy with my employer, I sometime, I'm in a disgruntled employee, I'll collect all the data and I leak those data. Fine. Or, third party contractor, if someone is approaching me, means we all are aware that how the official data is being sold to unauthorized person, and this constitute, you can say, copying data onto unauthorized devices, sharing information with competitor, and or sometime, exposing it through negligence. So the rise of cyber crime and IP theft, they are actually posing significant challenge for business. The increasing sophistication of cyber attack, coupled with the high value of my IP, intellectual property, it basically makes it imperative for organization to enhance their security measures, right? And the security measures we will come to later. Means you can see that this table, I have not put the bar. You can say legal framework for protecting intellectual property. Means you can say all the country, they are having their own legal framework, and these legal framework basically they play a critical role in safeguarding intellectual property, right? What is the way that these legal framework basically they're establishing the right and protection for creators and innovation. These laws are designed to encourage creativity, innovation, fair competition, right? By granting exclusive right to IP holder, and they also give different mechanism to enforce those rights. Means I'm just giving you overall of the legal framework, because we all are aware that throughout the world, the intellectual property laws of each and every country, they are based on WTO trips, right? So even if like in India, Indonesia, we may not have similar same laws, but we are having similar laws, because my copyright laws is also based on WTO trips, and your copyright law is also having a WTO trips, right? So we are having similar laws for all intellectual property. So when we talk about the copyright law, what are the broad framework? I'm not going into detail. I'm just giving you a little bit of a framework for protecting intellectual property in cyber law. Like when we talk about the copyright law, they provide legal protection for original creative work, including literary work, music, film, software, artistic work. We all are aware. And the main goal of copyright is to encourage the production of creativity work by ensuring that creator can profit from their own efforts, right? So when we talk about the enforcement, means how you can enforce, you can take a legal action against unauthorized use, reproduction, or distributor. It's not only the civil remedy, but criminal remedies are also there under intellectual property. Similarly, like when we talk about the patent definition and scope, you are aware that we grant invention exclusive right to their novel, non-obvious, right? This incentive innovation, they prevent the unauthorized use of patented technology. And enforcement, when we talk about enforcement, you can enforce your right through litigation, remedy, injunction, right? This is just a little bit similarly, you can think about the trademark and trade secret. Like when we talk about the digital world, trade secret is very important. Fine. So trade secret, you are aware, this is something of confidential business information. It may be any recipe, where we talk about the KFC, McDonald's, they are having a particular kind of recipe, right? And how you can enforce trade secret by going to the court of law, by civil lawsuit, criminal lawsuit. So basically, these legal framework for protecting intellectual property are essential for fostering a robust environment for innovation and creativity, right? By understanding and utilizing these products, creator, inventors, and businesses, they can safeguard their valuable IP assets. right? So basically you can say until and unless we are having legal framework. Yeah, I can continue. So basically, until and unless we are having a legal framework of intellectual property, we can't protect our intellectual property either physically or in cyber world, right? So first and foremost important thing, because as far as trade secrets are concerned, most of the country, they are not having specific legislation for trade secret, including India. We have the very well copyright laws, patent protection, trademark registration, traditional knowledge, GI, but trade secret is still a very fluid area. And when we talk about intellectual property theft, trade secret is something which is considered to be the most vulnerable when it comes to intellectual property protection, right? So it is very essential that all the countries, they should have their strong legal framework for protecting intellectual property. Not only that, nowadays it is also important to amend our laws in a manner to make the wrongdoer liable in digital world, right? How you are going to identify, though practically it's very difficult. It's very difficult to identify and to find out where is the where it is not an easy task, right? So one by one, if you can see like legal framework means understanding copyright. When we talk about the understanding copyright in digital world, what are the thing means digital era, digital copyright, we are having a term nowadays that in digital era the concept of copyright become increasingly relevant and complex as well, right? So when we talk about the digital copyright, they basically apply to a vast digital content, including the website, software, ebook, online video, your reels, Insta reels, and we all know the digital music platform, right? Once way back it was started with Napster case, but now we can say that how many channels are there. We are talking about whether you are using TikTok or you are using the Insta reel and you are using a particular kind of music work. Nowadays the music owner, the music world owner, they also want to have royalty from those videos as well, because any video is famous, any reel is famous. Why? Because you are using a particular music or you are using a particular song, right? So means you can see every digital creation is subject to copyright protection. Means all the digital creation, either they are protected under cinematography, they are protected under literary work, they are protected under artistic work, fine. So all these things are having the capability, or you can say they are having or they can be protected under the concept of copyright, right? Not only that, this expensive coverage underscore the significance of copyright also, because everything is there and everything can be covered under copyright. So safeguarding the intellectual property rights or copyrights on digital space, sometimes it's become very difficult, because we all know that copyright is considered to be general in nature. So all the thing whatever I'm using on digital media, they can be covered under copyright. So it's become difficult for me to protect everything on digital media, right? So what are the things which comes under copyright? Unauthorized use. When we talk about when we talk about unauthorized use, you can say that in spite of a clear delineation of copyright laws, there are instances and many instances of unauthorized use of digital content. Means they are digital content in the online world, right? Whether it is copying a portion of a website, and during the corona time, we have seen that using someone else PPT, or you can say that I'm using the photograph which I'm not allowed to use. Then we have learned about the freaker, using the software without proper licensing, modifying the digital art without consent, right? So all these things, they constitute means you can say violation or copyright theft in digital world, right? So not only that, it is important to recognize that unauthorized use of copyright material not only violate the legal regulation, but at the same time they also undermine the rights and effort of content creator, right? So there is fair use exception. We are having digital licensing as well. These things you can see, right? When we talk about means trademark and domain name, you all are aware that trademark is a brand or identifier, and in digital space, protecting their their online means how you have to protect the online or domain name for trademark. That is very important, right? So domain name means you can say they are the digital real estate that business and individual use to establish their identity and brand recognition, right? So not only that, it is equally important to have proactive registration and acquisition. Means initially you must have heard about the domain name, that initially everyone got one domain name registered. Though I'm not from Johnson and Baby, but I have registered Johnson and Baby domain name. Later on, when because that is something first come first service. The domain name concept is like that only. Later on, when it become difficult for to control, and there were more cases of misrepresentation, then so many domain name, they were cancelled by the DMRC, and now even the DMRC, they are more means you can say careful about issuing domain name to any particular organization or applicant, right? So in the same manner, you can say the patent and innovation in the digital ecosystem. When we talk about the patent and innovation in the digital ecosystem, you can say digital technologies have enabled rapid innovation and driven by technological advancement, from groundbreaking software algorithm to cutting edge hardware design and revolutionary communication protocol, right? All these digital landscape continuously evolve, reshaping any industry and society. And means you can say why it is important for protecting patent and innovation in digital ecosystem, because our entire advancement and development, they are dependent nowadays and for coming 50-100 years on technological advancement. Whether we are talking about any means you can say technology means you can say when you have to identify any particular disease or whatever you are talking about, right? All these things are important when we talk about the technological advancement, and what are the drawback of intellectual patent theft with respect to patent, right? So we all know that patent play a critical role in safeguarding the invention, navigating the patent landscape. You can say fast-paced digital world, companies must carefully navigate complex patent landscape, right? So this you can say this is continue to evolve. Companies must navigate complex patent landscape to safeguard their intellectual property and maintain a competitive edge, right? So same, this is as I told you that trade secret and data protection in digital landscape. This is the means you can say most important thing in intellectual property theft. In an era characterized by digital transformation, the protection of trade secret and sensitive data has emerged as a paramount concern for business worldwide. Right? Means you can say that. Nowadays it is most important to protect the sensitive data, which is considered to be most valuable asset for business, encompassing the proprietary information, customary data, strategic insight. Everything means data is data. Means we say that data mine means initially we used to say gold mine, diamond mine, coal mines, but nowadays the term is there, the data mine. Right. So trade secret is something which is considered to be very important for controlling the intellectual property theft, and means you can say that the cyber security measures, in fact the secure cyber security measures, that is very important for protecting the trade secret at digital platform, right? So means you can say these are the some of the things where you can identify that if we have to protect or we have to enforce intellectual property in digital environment, it is crucial for preserving the value of creative work and innovation, and means how you can preserve the value of a particular intellectual property, how you can protect the intellectual property theft. First and foremost important is the identify infringers, right? So how you can identify? By proactively monitoring the internet and digital platform. Means for any organization it is essential to identify the instances of unauthorized use for your intellectual property. You have to utilize the digital tool, automated searches, and monitoring services to detect potential infringer across websites, social media and other online marketplace, right? So if you can get the timely detection, that will allow swift intervention to prevent further dissemination of infringing content and mitigate potential damages to your intellectual property, right? Fine. Not only that, what is the other important thing is to send, seize and desist, right? This is something three term you can say upon suppose if I am able to identify the infringement, what is the other step that promptly notify the infringing party by sending a cease and desist letter, right? Then you have to clearly articulate your ownership of the intellectual property rights and demand the immediate you can say cessation of infringing activities. This is something very important. Not only that, you also need to specify the action required for compliance, such as removing infringing content from website or seizing the sale of counterfeit product. All of you must have heard about the torrent, right? Means whenever there is a movie which is uploaded in a particular that particular website torrent, where all the pirated movie and other thing, everything used to be there, then you have to send the immediate mail to the torrent website, because we all are aware that third party liability, ISP, this thing you must be aware, right? So it is my duty that I should ask that this is stolen thing and it should be removed. In YouTube also, you all are aware that we follow the same technique. In torrent also, and in most of the digital world, whenever we talk about the digital media, we follow this particular technique. So send, seize and desist, this is considered to be an important component for enforcing intellectual property in digital environment, right? Now you can say you have to pursue the legal action, and if infringing party fail to comply with C's and D's demand, be prepared to initiate a legal action to protect your right and seek remedies for infringement. Means until and unless we are going to assert our intellectual property at digital world, the theft or the, I mean, you can say the infringement, they are not going to minimize, right? So it is equally important that we should come up with different technology. We should come up with different technique, and this identify infringers, send this cease and desist, and pursue legal action. You can say that this is the easiest way and the most accepted way to enforce my intellectual intellectual property right, or to protect my intellectual property right from being stolen, right? So next you can say that navigating the complexities of IPR in social media. Means whenever social media platform, all of us are aware that it has revolutionized the communication, collaboration, and content sharing, right? Means I still remember that when we were young and when our cousins sorry. So what I was telling you that when we were young, right? So and my some of the all of you must have relate not the student, because you must have seen the social media, and we used to meet our cousins, those who were staying abroad, after 5 years, 10 years, and we used to say, oh, you have grown up, right? But nowadays these things are not there. We are having WhatsApp group, and every day we are sharing the photo, we are sharing the content, we are sharing the video. So our relative, they can see us, they can uh, relate, they can see that we are growing, our children are growing, right? So this social media platform, we all are aware, certainly it has revolutionized the communication, fine, the content sharing, presenting unique intellectual property, they all have become most important. And not only that, it's become very complex, right? It's become easy, no doubt, it become easier for all of us to share the content, to share our ideas, but at the same time it also become very complex to navigating intellectual property in this dynamic landscape of social media, right? So when you talk about the social media landscape, you can say the rapidly evolving social media landscape, they basically presents a myriad of intellectual property challenges stemming from user generated content, viral trend, evolving platform policies, understanding the intricacies of social media platform and their content ecosystem, right? Means all these things, what to protect, where to protect, how to protect. So social media protect, and there are the copyright consideration, there are the trademark implication, there are influencer partnership. So collaborating with social media influencer present both opportunity and challenges in terms of intellectual property. And businesses must establish clear content licensing agreement. So you can see that it's become very complex sometimes, that like from where you are navigating and identifying the IPR and enforcing and protecting that intellectual property, right? This slide you can see on your own that how it is difficult sometimes to examine the implications and to understand the complexity of IPR at digital tool. Then also you can say that for digital content creator, nowadays, we have a specific course for digital design, means in the engineering, we were not having the digital design branch earlier, but now we are having the digital design. All the company, they hire someone for creating the digital content, right? So digital content creator, they operate in a dynamic and intricate landscape of intellectual property, right? So to protect their creative work and to maintain the integrity of their brand, the creator, it is required that the creator must be aware about intellectual property. Sometimes the creator who are from engineering background, they are not aware about the copyright. They are not aware about the trademark in detail. And knowingly, unknowingly, while creating the digital content, they violate the intellectual property, right? So it is very important that all the digital content creator, they should have the basic knowledge about the copyright, the trademark, and the most important, managing permission for third party asset, right? So the Flickr website, the photograph which are there on website. So whenever any digital content creator is there, and if they have to avoid any kind of cases or the litigation related to intellectual property theft, it is important that we should be aware about the intellectual property laws or the minimum thing about the intellectual property. So this is very important for any IPR consideration. In other words, you can say that IPR consideration, or you can say, means, mainly the copyright, trademark, managing permission from third party, strategies for IPR protection, that how you have to do that, adhering to the fair use principle. And if you are taking into account the IPR consideration while creating the digital content, it will minimize the instances of intellectual property theft, right? And not only that, they also maintain the brand integrity. So this is very important, you can see, right? So now you can see that what are the emerging trends and challenges in digital IPR. Nowadays, we all are aware that AI generated content, we all are still articulating, we all are still debating that when there is a AI generated content, who is going to be the owner, who is going to be the licensor for a particular AI generated content. We all remember the Naruto case related to photograph, where we said that no, we cannot say that monkey selfie case. The Naruto, the owner of that particular photo, because animals are not recognized under intellectual property. But when it comes to AI generated work, we are not still clear, right, that what role intellectual property is going to play in AI generated content. Certainly, all the AI generated content, they are touching the intellectual property. Whether you talk about the copyright, whether you talk about the trademark, or whether I'm talking about the trade secret, whatever I'm talking about, right? Or patent also. The AI is touching, and they are into all the types of intellectual property. But still, we are not clear that who is going to be the owner of the AI generated work. How there is a difference of traditional copyright law, traditional patent law, and the AI ownership. So it's become very difficult for all of us that how to protect or how to identify the ownership in case of AI generated content. Number one. Number two, if we are in a position to identify the AI generated content, how to protect the intellectual property theft in a particular AI generated content, right? This is again an unanswered question. Even I can't answer at this stage because we are still reading, right? Second is, non-fungible token, that is NFT, which is, we generally say that unique digital asset and their IP implication. Means again, NFT, you are aware that they have revolutionized the concept of ownership for digital asset by using using blockchain technology. Means we all are aware that NFT ensure the uniqueness and prevention of digital item, right? Means it is ranging from art, music, virtual and real estate collectibles, whatever you can say. The NFT offer new avenue for monetizing digital content, right? We have NFT and I can monetize my NFT for a particular digital content. They also raise substantial IP issue. When an artist sells an NFT, what rights are transferred? Means this is a new way, and again we can say that this is the emerging trend and challenges in digital world. One is AI, second is NFT. So though the NFT, you can say they are not able to contribute or control the distribution of the content itself, but still it is you can say doing some due to this blockchain and other things technology, they are doing some help, right? Now the third is, you can say, the data privacy concern. When we talk about the data privacy concern, balancing user privacy with IP protection online means you must have heard about the GDPR, that is the General Data Protection Regulation, and the international treaty is the Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, California Consumer Privacy Act. They impose a strict requirement how personal data is collected and stored and used, right? So data privacy concern, whenever you are making any app, what are the data you can ask from the end user, how much data is important. You must have realized that gradually we are not being asked more data which we used to give initially. Initially, you are supposed to give the date of birth also, another thing. Nowadays, most of the app, it is not mandatory to give a date of birth, another thing, right? So means you can see that we have to create a balance between data privacy and the IP protection online. So in the same manner, the cross-border jurisdiction, when we talk about the cross-border jurisdiction, certainly the enforcing IPR across national border, this is very important and at the same time very difficult for all of us, right? So due to the different kind of laws, different jurisdiction, procedural law, it is still difficult for any country to have a full proof mechanism for cross-border jurisdiction, right? So the global nature of internet, international treaties, emerging technology, this is the major challenge in digital world for the enforcement of intellectual property and for preventing intellectual property theft. So digital age, certainly we can say this gives us both exciting opportunity and complex challenges for intellectual property rights, right? So these emerging trend, you can see for most of the thing we are not having exact answers, that how you are going to have this, whether they are giving the full proof protection or not. These things are still not clear to us, right? So means you can say these are some of the means which I can contemplate the strategies for protecting IPR in digital space. Means you can say when we talk about the digital age, protecting intellectual property right is more challenging and more critical than ever, right? We all agree with the same thing. So a multifaceted approach combining legal, technological and contractual strategy, it is considered to be an essential for organization to safeguard the digital asset. Until and unless you are combining the legal with technology, we are not going to get any means you can say possible solution on digital world. It is essential all the countries, they are doing it certainly. So they are doing amendment, they are coming up with digital laws, IT laws, etc., right? But at the same time, it has become more essential than ever that we should amend our laws wherever it is required. We combine with digital right management, DRM, you all are aware, and this DRM technology help control the use, modification, distribution of digital content. By embedding DRM in digital product, organization can restrict unauthorized copying and sharing, right? Sometimes you can say you cannot take a screenshot, you cannot take a recording. All these things are there. The encryption, watermarking, usage tracking, ensuring that content is accessed that authorized individual.
Paling cilik semeni.
All these things are there. I'm winding up just 5 more minutes, right? So encryption, these are the upcoming technology which we have to be careful whenever we are talking about the or whenever any country they are making strategies for protecting IPR in digital space, right? So this you can say like contractual strategies, NDA, non-disclosure clause, comprehensive licensing agreement. These things are essential when you have to protect your intellectual property at digital space. So fine. So next you can see what can be the best practices for securing intellectual property in cyberspace. This you can say, employee training. IP is a valuable asset, we all know. So first and foremost thing, what we need, educate employee on the significance of IP protection and the potential consequences of IP theft or compromise. So certainly as a law student, we can say that intellectual property is something which is not only essential for law graduate, it is something which is essential for each and everyone who is using computer, each and everyone who is, they are working, they are doing business. So intellectual property is not only for law graduate. It should be there. The basic IP protection should be there for each and everyone, right? So it is required that the employee training, we have to train them to recognize and report suspicious cyber activities. First, we have to make them aware about the IP asset of any company. IP asset management nowadays, this is an upcoming area where all the company, they hire the IP professional to identify the IP asset of a particular company. Once you are in a position to identify the IP asset of a company, you need to train your employee that these are the IP asset of our company and I have to take care of this, right? So employee training is considered to be most important thing whenever we are talking about the intellectual property theft at digital world. Not only the employee training, right? The government should take initiative for overall intellectual property awareness for their citizens. And it's, Insta Reel and other thing, these things are also having intellectual property within that. Those not so important for economic growth, but they are important, right? So training and IP awareness, this is considered to be very important. Then robust cyber security measures, we all are aware, implementing multi-layered security control to create a comprehensive defense against cyber threat is considered to be very important. Means we need to utilize firewall, intrusion detection system, endpoint security solution to monitor and block unauthorized access attempt. And not only that, the encrypt sensitive data both in transit and at rest to prevent unauthorized disclosure of tampering, right? Means you can see that these online examination everywhere, what kind of problem we all are facing, right? Then intellectual property monitoring, this is very important. Continuously monitor online channels, including website, social media platform, marketplace, for unauthorized use or distribution of your organization IP, right? So what is the requirement? That utilize specialized tool and services to track mention of your trademark, copyrighted content or proprietary information. So these things you can say they are, we can say in one way or other way, that these are the best practices which all of us can evolve for securing intellectual property in cyberspace. Very quickly, you can say the role of technology in combating intellectual property theft, the cyber security solution. I already just shared with you that firewall and other thing. These are the cyber security solution. In these things we have to adopt, right? Means only the technology can combat the intellectual property theft at cyber world. Otherwise, we cannot control, right? AI driven anti-piracy. AI is a threat, but AI is a boon as well. Means we cannot deny the importance of AI nowadays, and due to cutting edge AI and machine learning algorithm can, they can automatically detect and prevent intellectual property theft. So all of us have to adopt these AI driven anti-piracy thing, right? Blockchain for IP protection. Means blockchain technology, though it is old, but it offer a decentralized immutable ledger for recording and managing intellectual property rights. They provide transparency, security, and traceability. So these things we can say. Digital watermarking is also there. This is something we can generate stenography technique, enable the embedding of imperceptible digital signature. All these, these technology are the most helpful way for protecting your intellectual property theft, right? Means when we talk about lastly, international cooperation addressing the IP theft, certainly not a single country they can do on alone. They have to take the intellectual, means you can say international effort for protecting intellectual property. We need different kind of harmonizing policy. TRIPS is there, WTO is there. So we need some more negotiation at international community so that we can come up with new negotiation, or you can say we come up with new ideas for because this is not a problem of country A or country B. The cyber world and intellectual property theft is something which is affecting the worldwide, right? So we need a harmonizing international solution as well. Second, you can say the share intelligence. Whenever you are getting any idea, you should share intelligence. The collaboration between law enforcement, technology, it is very important. Then leverage technology, you can say they plays a pivotal role in augmenting international cooperation effort to combat IP theft. Again, this leverage technology, most of them are the AI driven. So it is having a very important role. So in conclusion, means you can say that I would like to just close my talk by saying, or by, means we can say, or this is an observation, that the rise of cyberspace has brought about unprecedented opportunities for innovation and collaboration. But it has also introduced significant challenges, right, in protecting intellectual property from theft and infringement. Safeguarding this valuable asset, it requires, means again, as we said, multifaceted approach that encompasses robust legal framework, technological solution, and international cooperation. Fine. Proactive measure is certainly important. Second, is most important thing you can say, the pivotal role of technology is in combating the cyber crime, and the most important you can say, the global collaboration to effectively address the growing threat. Until and unless we are going to have global collaboration, we cannot have actual solution to this problem of intellectual property theft, right? So this protecting intellectual property in cyberspace, this requires a concerted effort involving proactive measures, technological innovation, global collaboration, by adopting a comprehensive approach that addresses legal, technological, and international aspect, business and government, that can effectively safeguard their intellectual property right, and without compromising, or you can say without hampering the innovation, or with which is the need of an hour. We need more innovation, more technology, sustainable development. All these things are there, and all these things need a collaborative approach. So I think I would end my lecture over here. Thank you very much to bearing with me for 1.5 hours continuously.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Vandana Singh, for giving us such an informative and interesting presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the question and answer session. There is two sessions, and for one session, there will be 3 questions. I'd like to have question from the participants. Please type your question in the chat box or use the raise hand feature to ask the question directly.
Just a second, I can. Can I use the chat box for looking into the questions? I just want to see what are the questions. Just a second. Yeah, now I can see.
You want to read by yourself, Professor Vandana, the question?
The question which I got, now I'm able to see. This is from Safa Abdullah. The question is related to that. Are there any cases related to this, or specifically about the intellectual property in cyberspace in India? There are many cases. Right. When we talk about the cyberspace and intellectual property theft, so many cases are there. I'll give the list to ma'am. As such, there are T series case. There are means in 1 or 2 cases, like we had case related to Aadhaar also, and like intellectual trade secret, stealing trade secret is something which is very common. And what is the important that they are in court of law. And as I told you, the main issues is if it is a domestic infringement, we can identify. Still, as you are aware that India is a big country, and when any theft, if suppose I am sitting in Delhi and something has happened at Arunachal Pradesh or in Kanyakumari, it is very difficult to identify the infringer. So there are cases in cyberspace. We have introduced the IT Act. You must have heard about that, Information Technology Act, right? Not only that, there are so many cases of online defamation, even the Twitter also. So many cases are there. It's not 1 or 2 cases. You just Google the cyberspace cases in India, you will get a good list of cases related to cyberspace or infringement of intellectual property in cyberspace.
Okay, Miss Safa is enough. Maybe we will have another question from another participants.
I'm
You
not
can
able
use you can use the chat box or raise hand features.
Yeah, please write in chat box. It would be easier for me to read and answer. I hope the topic is clear to all of you. I'm happy to see such a large number of participants. This is something, very rare in India. Though we have largest population, but when we do organize any online event, we don't get much participants. So I'm really happy to see such a large number of participants. Congratulations to the organizer for the same.
Thank you very much, Prof.
So I hope this is clear to all of you, the topic, the IP theft and what we can do, how we can prevent and what actually consists. The question I have received another question, that how do we protect our data for being stolen and traded illegally? Also, how do we know that our data being stolen? This is something, data you have to, means as we have read in some of the slides, that the encryption, it is one of the method by which you can save your data. Then different encryption, firewall, blockchain, these are the some of the technological way by which you can protect your data. But suppose it is equally important, means how you are able to identify that your data is being stolen, when you will find out that someone is misusing it. Most of us are not aware that whether our data has been taken or whether someone is misusing our data. Means I have seen so many cases that where my Aadhaar card or my unique identity card, it is being used by some another XYZ person for getting mobile SIM. Right. So until and unless it is misused, it's very difficult to identify or find out that my data is being stolen. Right. So we generally say that we are the general public. So our data is not so important. We just have unique identity card and a bank account number. It is difficult for big company when their data is being misused. So you can protect all your data by using the technology. So encryption, blockchain, these are the technology by which you can use your data. Please use your fingerprint when you are using the UPI or Paytm for your bank thing, right? So these things are there by which you can have your own protective measure for protection of your data, right? Again, data is a very wide term. How you are going to identify data? When you say at present your data is your roll number, your blood group, your bank account number, right? So this is something, one thing. But when we talk about data of a multinational corporation, they are having these kind of data of 1 crore person, right? So every time, data is a very wide term, and in what perspective you are using it, that is also very important. So the way is very simple. You can protect your data by use of technology.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Vandana. We still have 10 minutes. Maybe another participants want to ask question.
Yeah.
Okay. We have here from Loki.
Just a second. Let me see. Application of intellectual property law. Just a second. University, I want to ask, is the application of intellectual property law limited by social norm? in such a rapid development in the world that every country has. Application of intellectual property is certainly not limited by social norm, because certainly, the intellectual property law started from the Paris Convention in way back in 1883, but from 1883 to 2024, we have seen a drastic development in society when it comes to innovation. So social norm, to certain extent, you can relate to copyright, where we are talking about the musical work, where we are talking about the you can say the art, literally work, or cinematography, right? Cinema, music, book, these are related to social norm. But when we talk about the innovation, that is patent, we are talking about the trade secret, or we are talking about the utility model, or other kind of industrial design, they are not so limited by social norm, right? There is a rapid development in society, you rightly said, and we cannot limit intellectual property by any social norm. Fine. So, as you are aware, we use one term intellectual property, but even in one term of intellectual property, there are so many other things. When you talk about traditional knowledge, certainly it is limited by social norm, because this is our tradition, right? All country, they are having their traditional knowledge, and that traditional knowledge has to be limited by social norm. No, but when we talk about the patent, they are not limited by social norm. So 7 types of intellectual property which we recognize under WTO TRIPS, they are having different natures, right? So one is having a social norm, but other is not having social norm. So we cannot have general statement that it is social norm is required or social norm is there. All right. So I hope this is clear. There is one more question. One sec. I would like to ask a question. Chat GPT, it's an AI, right? While discussing the challenges, I told you that artificial intelligence is creating a lot of challenges while while uh, enforcing intellectual property. But when we say, you need to understand, in Bern Convention as well as in TRIPS agreement, we are having a term original literally work. So here what you have to see, whatever chat GPT is creating, chat GPT is, if it is creating something, it is not an original literally work merely if I'm copying something from chat GPT, right? So an ownership of AI work is still not clear. So for if chat GPT is creating a content, if at all you apply the copyright work, you can say that the algorithm of chat GPT is an owner and you are not the owner. So if at all we will decide that AI is having ownership, then for any copyrighted work, at least for that copyrighted work, you are not owner and I am not owner, because it is not an original literary work. You have to remember that for any copyrighted work, it need to be original, right? So if I ask ChatGPT to write my project and ChatGPT is writing that project, I cannot publish that project in my name, right? Otherwise, it would constitute plagiarism or anything like that. And nowadays, you must be aware that Turnitin, they are giving the report of AI also. AI reports are also there. So you and I cannot be the owner of if anything we are getting from ChatGPT, because originality is something which is required for protecting any copyrighted work. Is it clear?
Yes.
We still have
Again,
one last question.
Again,
Yeah,
who is responsible for defamation caused by AI generated content? as I told you, right? So if suppose in Chat GPT I'm writing that defame so and so, you need to understand that Chat GPT means what you can say that I'm asking something that Chat GPT should perform a particular function. Defamation is not a civil law. Hello, am I audible? Sorry.
Yes,
So defamation is not a civil wrong. Defamation is a criminal wrong, right? So the kind of thing we are applying in copyright protection in civil wrong, same principle we cannot apply in criminal cases, right? So if you ask me what I can feel that if I'm giving a command to Chat GPT that please write a defamatory word for so and Chat GPT is writing something, and if I'm posting that particular content on my website, certainly I'll be liable for that. Are you getting my point? Because you have to see the actus reus and mens rea. This is a criminal wrong. So I have intention to defame, and I in that particular performance of mens rea, I'm acting something. I have given a command to Chat GPT. Chat GPT giving me an answer, but publication of that answer is equally important for constituting the wrong of defamation. If I'm reading that Chat GPT and I'm laughing on my own, it is not constituting any crime, right? When it will constitute a crime, when I'm publishing that content on my social media, or I'm sharing that content on WhatsApp or any other kind of social media. So if I'm doing that, my actus reus is there by sharing, and my mens rea is there to defame a person. So certainly in that case, I will be liable. This is my perspective as a lawyer, right? If I am a lawyer, I'll give these arguments. But suppose if you have to defend your client, you have to come up with different argument. But certainly, actus rea and mens rea, I have to constitute. Defamation is a criminal wrong, and in this case, I'm publishing the defamatory content. So I have the actus reus as well as mens rea. So I'll be liable and not the any artificial intelligence thing. And but if they are publishing the thing automatically, then situation would happen to them. I hope this is clear.
Okay, thank you very much for Professor Vandana Singh for your answer. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to close question and answer sessions because our time was running out. To all participants, you can fill the attendance list that appears on the chat room.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. I'll take your leave. Thank you. Namaste.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. I would like to say thank you to our speaker of the session, Professor Vandana Singh, for the presentation. It's really insightful. We really appreciate it, and we hope that this session will improve our knowledge.
Thank you. A pleasure was all mine. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was nice interacting with all of you. And thanks for the good questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. My pleasure. Other than that, we also saying thank you to all of the participants that are already joining the session. And for reminder, today we still have another session with different speakers, and it will be starting at 1 p.m. in Indonesia time. Lastly, I would like to say sorry if there's a lot of mistakes. Once again, thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Professor Vandana Singh, you can left the Zoom.